All right. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. I am Dr. Dianna Maria. I reside in Dallas, Texas, and I'm going to talk to you guys about kids' wellness. First of all, I definitely want to make sure that I am letting you guys know that we are super, super excited and really want to honor Autism Awareness Month. April is Autism Awareness Month, and that is where you can think about how there is always a way that you can show unique abilities, right? Things that are totally interesting and sometimes mysterious. So I know that there are so many people who are having kids that are coming up on the spectrum. It is just so prevalent now. I have been a part of this entire experience. And I know that there are so many people that have been affected. Maybe you've known for years, maybe it is something that is just coming about. But I want to let you know that you are not alone. You are not alone. There are families that are openly discussing it. Then there are families who maybe they feel like they are not supported and not necessarily knowing what to do outside of the things that doctors are telling them as far as putting their children on medication, right? And so I am going to talk to you tonight about the experience that I had and currently have with my son who was diagnosed with ADHD and ODD, which are some developmental things that are on the spectrum as well. I ended up doing a lot of research because I did not want to put my son on any medications. And so I found an all natural approach. There were so many things that I found out as it related to this disability or disorder and just children on the spectrum in general. And I believe that you will be intrigued. If it worked for me, I have no doubt that it will work for so many other families, and they just may not know exactly what to do or some measures that they can take to make the experience better and to kind of relieve their children of some agitation that they may be experiencing. So, first of all, what is autism? Autism is a developmental disability that causes significant social, communication, medical, and behavioral challenges. Because autism is a spectrum disorder, the combination of symptoms and their level of severity varies from person to person. Now, something that you may not be aware of, but 1 in 36 children in the US have autism, and that number has increased 317% since the year 2000. That is a lot. So we hear about these things all of the time, but now you're going to see how you can make the experience better and you can turn around a whole lot of those symptoms. So some things that ended up happening, and I'm going to go back a little bit, right? So this is my son Dylan. He's now 9 years old, but when he was going into the third grade, um, just within the first 30 days, there were some reports from his teacher that really, really just kind of drove me and his dad crazy. Like he just would not sit still. She was saying he was just so overactive, just extremely impulsive. And if you follow me on social media, I share so many videos of him, right? He does have an outgoing personality, but the experiences of some extreme social anxiety began to be present. And that was something that was very different from what people would normally see, right? And then when I finally witnessed it, I was like, okay, something's a little different here. So some other things that would happen that she began to complain about that we noticed at home as well, like regardless if he was with me or if he was with him, and that was like the talking back, just literally needing to have the very last word. And then it was the constant need to be stimulated, like always having to touch something. And then there was also the mocking of other people, like we knew that the things that she were describing were very different and they were different from a lot of his peers. So you know, you go through that whole thing where you have friends who have kids his age and they're like, no, that's how boys are. This is normal. This is just what they do. These, and then I'm like, I get it, but at the same time, there is a lot of truth to some of the things that she's saying, and I know that they're just different because his peers do not seem to be having the same issues, right? And so, sure enough, he's seen a psychologist, and we were seeing a therapist at the time as well. And that was when she diagnosed him with ADHD and ODD. I had never heard of ODD. And so the defiant disorder, like I get it now, like it completely makes sense. And they wanted to put him on medication. So the fact that I have been in health and wellness for the past 15 years, I'm like, that doesn't even make sense to me. And I'm not going to put my son on medication. I just feel like at 9 years old, there has to be another approach. And this is not to take away from any parents who have felt like it is best for them to use medication. Everyone is different, right? And if you feel like that is just something that you had to do, this is not a takeaway from that. So I don't want you to feel that way. I just would like for folks to know that there are all natural approaches to doing certain things and maybe turning some things around if that's something that you would be looking to do. So we did, right? And like I say, doing all of the research to make things better in an all natural way. One of the things was the consistency in his schedule and the consistency with parenting, right? One week here, 1 week with his dad, right? And so we knew that there probably were not consistencies. He and his dad and I were not in a point where we were co-parenting very well, right? And we literally had to learn how to do that. And thank God, because of the therapist that he was seeing at the time, we were able to recognize areas where we needed to be on the same page, because it was just going to be the best thing for him, which is what we began to do, right? So some of those things would be, like I say, the consistency. And I mean, really buckling down and not having anything different as it related to his schedule, going to school, when he came home, weekends, everything. Also, you already know with the parenting, if some kids they feel like they can get away with something with the other, they try that. We had to now be a little bit more in tune and communicating more so that we will make sure those things were not happening. Also, breaking up the time between like homework and activities. Instead of giving him all of the things to do at once, then now I'm breaking them up so that he doesn't feel overwhelmed by the things that I'm having him do. Another thing that was, when I talked to you about over being overly stimulated, cannot sit still. I would think, right before all of this, I literally thought like, he's just has way too much energy. Like, why won't he sit still? And sometimes in the past, I would ask, why can't you sit still? What is the problem? And so looking back in hindsight, I felt bad because I just didn't know that my child couldn't help it. He wanted to sit still, but he just could not control that. Then another thing, breaking up, the time and the play time, right? They Once they feel like playing, let them play, right? Definitely let them play, right? And so, because I've been in health and wellness and he has witnessed me helping people with so many issues in their mental and physical health, he understood meditation. So I would let him do that. He knows how to sit, on the floor quietly. It may not be long, but it's long enough for him to calm down. When he was about 5 years old, I had purchased a kid's journal and I would have him writing in that kid's journal every night before bed. So now I would make sure that there was a consistent routine with him doing that so that he could learn how to get some things off of his mind, just like sometimes I would need to do. So then it also, this right here was extremely important. And this was the food. So now I knew I needed to be extremely intentional with the food choices. I think before I was way too lax, and I'm sure his dad was as well. Because I know it, being a health and wellness, professional, I know it, but then you're always in the back of your head, but he's a kid. Guys, because they're children, they need it more so than we could ever imagine. Now it's not how when we were growing up, our parents let us have a little bit more of this or that we didn't need, because the mindset is, oh, they're just kids. There's so many horrible things that are in our food and so-called snacks that now more than ever we have to be more intentional. So now the food choices would be extremely intentional, and I'm making sure that I'm putting focus on his focus, right? I'm making sure he has more foods that allows him to have focus, and that would also help with brain health, right? So those are some of the things, and you can do your own research and then make sure you're choosing foods that your kids actually like. Sometimes they may be eating like the same things over and over, but it's better to let them eat some of the foods that will help support certain behaviors that they like versus you trying to force them to eat things that they don't, and then just slowly introduce other types of food as well. This one right here, a lot of people may not be aware of, but it is critical. And 70% of your immune system is in your gut, which means your gut health is extremely important. The gut bacteria can be influenced by your nutrition, your lifestyle, and your environment. And I'm going to say that again, very, very, very important. The gut bacteria can be influenced by your nutrition, your lifestyle, and your environment. So it's going to help improve the gut by, and this is how things you want to do is by increasing the fiber intake from your whole foods, plant-based foods, grains, beans, nuts, seeds, fruits, and vegetables. So gone with the, TV dinners and things like that. And that's not something that I would typically give him anyway. But I know society likes to teach us to make these quick things available for our kids, and it's absolutely hurting them and not helping at all. So there's up to 84% of children with autism that have GI issues. And I know that there are so many parents that are looking for ways that they can do this, be able to treat this naturally. But that's where the gut allows toxins to enter the bloodstream. It will cross into the brain and trigger immune deregulation and neural inflammation that impact cognition and the behaviors. So just imagine that if they are constantly having issues with their gut, it is absolutely affecting their mood and their behavior. So starts to now think about the gut health and think about some of the issues that may arise, right? So maybe it's giving them more anxiety. They're having more communication difficulties, right? There should be some type of probiotic that they are consistently taking. And I'm going to kind of get into the story that I experienced with my son, because I don't feel like we're getting enough knowledge about how important it is to make sure that the gut health is being taken care of. Just like as adults, we're looking to have a healthy gut. Our children needs to consistently have a healthy gut as well. So then I began to start treating symptoms, start thinking about symptoms. So if you were invited here tonight, I can assure you that you have probably already been told that we are going to talk about this wellness club. And we're going to talk about this all natural approach that I've found that is going to be extremely helpful, right? These are not going to be things that you're going to get at the store because I went that route, and just didn't know any better. Obviously, his pediatrician did not know any better. That was what they offered. And when I knew better, right, being introduced to the club or had already been introduced to the club, I began to do my own digging and realized that there were other things that I needed to do, as well as getting all natural supplements that was going to help better than the things that are shown inside of the stores. So omega-3 is going to be great for the brain function and mental clarity. There's zinc for impulsiveness, iron for better behavior, magnesium for relaxation, sleep, and irritability, vitamin C for dopamine, and protein for focus. Um, Make these notes, right? Because these are going to be some of the things that you most definitely want to make sure that you are adding to cart Activate C. It is an immune booster. Remember, I told you 70% of your immune system is in your gut. So having a boosted immune system and being intentional about that is extremely important, not just for adults, but for children as well, right? This Activate C, you're going to think something like, I know everyone is familiar with emergency, right? That's what we used to use. It is not a good option. It's loaded with sugar, is made with GMO. Absolutely horrible, sad to say, but Activate C will be a replacement. The Activate C has 1,200 milligrams of vitamin C, 15 milligrams of zinc, and it is gluten free and plant derived. Mellow out. So mellow out is something that he can actually consume, and I say he because I have my 9-year old, right? So your child can consume in a liquid, right? It comes in a great flavor, but you can also make this into a gummy. There's an all natural way to make it into a gummy if you feel like that will be better, but this can be taken in really small doses. The magnesium supplementation is going to be awesome because it offers the benefits for autistic children, including potential reduction in the aggression, the irritability, and the hyperactivity, along with major improvements in the social interaction and communication. So magnesium is definitely going to be also better for the sleep and the digestion as well. So give that a try. So remember when I was talking to you about a probiotic, I remember several years ago, Dylan, that's my son's name, he had a stomach virus, and the pediatrician was recommending Culturelle. And I'm sure you're familiar with Culturelle. So she was just basically like, yeah, there's so many viruses that the kids are getting, they're always sick. And it was pretty bad. Like he was literally getting strep throat and some type of virus like 3 to 4 times a year. It was absolutely insane. But she told me that this was normal. So I was assuming that this was normal. So she said, just pick up Culturelle. He can take that for a couple of days and he'll be fine, right? Doing my own research, and I'm like, okay, so there is a probiotic in the club that is much, much better than what is on the counters in the stores. In addition to that, if you are focusing on gut health, this is not something that you just take care of whenever you feel sick. This is something that you are consistently focusing on. The same way adults put focus on having a better gut health, that is what children need as well. But that is not something that is discussed, right? And so now we will begin to start putting focus on that so that there is a major shift. And so this I would like to go through as well. During the past 50 years, there has been synthetic dyes that's been used that has increased by 500%. And at the time, there has been an alarming rise in behavioral problems such as aggression, ADD, and ADHD. And I don't know if you are familiar, most parents are, but the FDA is not a source for us to be excited about. Like there's so many food dyes that are welcomed here in the US that you could never get your hands on if you were in Europe. The red dye 40 has been banned for such a long time, and that's because there's a growing evidence of things just being harmful. And so most people that are in Europe, they are fully aware of this. Some of the same snacks that we have here, they have the most harmful ingredients. You can get those same snacks that are available in Europe, but the ingredients are different, and that's because they're banned. However, in the U.S., pretty much everything is allowed. There has been a crackdown. The current administration really is putting some heavy focus on the dyes, and so there has been a recent crackdown of this. But just be now more cognizant of the so-called snacks that you are introducing to your kids, where you might think that it's safe because when we were growing up, we knew that it wasn't healthy, but it wasn't as harmful as it is now. So some of these snacks, I want you to Google it because they've already been banned in several states. So the snacks that you see here, they have absolutely been banned, like in California, Illinois, Missouri, New York, and Washington. It's so weird that they can be banned in some states and it not be, all over the nation, like it really should be. If you found that it causes cancer and that it's horrible ingredients, I don't see why they would still be available in other states, but please know that it is so. It is so. So do your best to make sure you are reading labels because these were some of the things that I was allowing my son to have. He loved Doritos. I grew up on Doritos, so I was giving him Doritos. Didn't think it was a big deal, had no idea. The hot Cheetos, it took me a while before I realized how much it was making him more aggravated and agitated. So there are certain things that we don't know what we just don't know, but now we can be a little bit more cognizant and taking a look. So remember I talked to you about that routine, right? He doesn't eat breakfast at school anymore. I do have the ability to take my time getting him ready for school each day, and I make his breakfast at home. So now he gets a choice. There's three choices. There's a protein shake that he can have from the shopping club, right? It has 21 vitamins and minerals, and it's a meal replacement, or he can have a breakfast taco or a breakfast sandwich. So each day I'm letting him decide, but I didn't even realize until I started digging, I didn't realize that school breakfast consisted of muffins and pancakes and sugary cereals. So no wonder his teacher was saying how annoyed she was because he was just so hyperactive before he even got to her class. So by the time class is starting, she couldn't even get a handle of him because he was just so out of control. That protein shake that I was referring to, it has 10 grams of protein. It supports healthy and strong bones. It's 4 grams of fiber. And like I said, 21 vitamins and minerals. It comes in a chocolate or a strawberry. So your kids can decide on that. It tastes absolutely amazing. I've had it, just, tasting his literally tastes just like a chocolate milkshake. I know you are familiar with Flintstones. We were brought up on Flintstones, but Flintstones is not a healthier choice. And when you would ask a pediatrician what multivitamin would they give your child, they will more than likely suggest a Flintstones, right? So regardless of that packaging, it would take 11 Flintstone vitamins to equal just one chewable kids vitamin that's inside of the shopping club. Here it is patented with oligo that has 10 times the absorption rate than anything from the other manufacturers. Omega 3 is super, super amazing. As it relates to helping your body get rid of good fats and bad fats, this is going to be one. This is absolutely amazing. It tastes just like a yogurt. He loves it. I don't have to fight him about it. His favorite is peach mango tango. It comes in a couple of other different flavors as well, but this made it super easy, right? This was super important to help him have better mental focus, and it absolutely helped. So Melaleuca is only the cleanest, safest, and most sustainable deep sea cold water fish available that contain high concentrations of DHA and EPA omega 3s. The patented cold extraction method produces the purest, highest quality omega 3 oils that are free from toxins and contaminants. So now we're talking about that morning routine. Y'all, it used to be very, very chaotic. Used to be very, very chaotic. For one thing, he wasn't getting enough sleep. So I knew that I needed to do something about that, right? Wasn't getting enough sleep. And so it was always really tough to get him to get dressed, and especially in a way where there was no yelling and, things were not chaotic. So now the morning routine is I'm giving him more than enough time so that he doesn't have to rush. Now he can literally get dressed in less than an hour. And it used to not be so smooth. He'll take another bath in the morning. He'll pick out his school clothes. basically he has a uniform, but now I have to give him choices, right? Allowing them to make choices for themselves is extremely important. That helped out in a big way. Before, learning a little bit more, I was the one constantly, like, kind of telling him, well, now I can give him a choice. And so it's either blue or khaki pants. The shirt is going to be a white shirt or a red shirt. So now he's able to do that. He's telling me he can hear the TV from the bathtub. And once he hears that the celebrity birthdays on Fox News, he knows it's pretty much time for him to get
What you
out.
say, babe?
Now I'm asking him also what breakfast he would like. Um I lay out all of the supplements, and I ended up getting a high powered juicer so that he can be excited about his morning routine. And I didn't know how much it would help keep him excited. He got to the point where he was looking forward to his whole routine, and I was surprised. Hold on one sec. Here we go. So now I'm going to show you a quick video, and I will just say that before this, it was chaos, right? I'm We're arguing about what he's going to wear, even though he has a uniform. He's arguing with me about which color he wants. He doesn't know what he wants to eat, and so I'm letting him decide that. But now the only decision is you're absolutely not eating at school. Before I would just, okay, you can eat at school. But now there is a solid routine in place, and you can see that I have everything laid out for him here. So that always makes me very happy, because just every time I look at the video and I think about where we were prior to just being extremely intentional about the choices, night and day, y'all, night and day. So, the essential oils. Essential oils is absolutely phenomenal. Just like we're looking for essential oils when we feel like we've been stressed out or we feel like we might be coming down with something, kids need it too. And it helps them in the same capacity. So for morning, there's a peppermint oil that helps boost mental focus. The evening is either a lavender or a eucalyptus, and that's going to help with the calming properties and help reduce anxiety. Absolutely helps. I have a diffuser in just about every room. So that would also kind of set the mood. Like once he gets up, I'm getting things in place before he's going to bed. I'm, putting everything in place, and it absolutely sets the mood. If you think about yourself and how you are trying to relax yourself, or you're trying to help yourself, have better mental focus, or you're just trying to, you know, get rid of some anxiety, children, same way, same effect. So I'm not sure if you are aware, but Melaleuca is the first essential oils company. The essential oils are extracted directly from natural plant sources from around the world. There's no deciphering an ingredient that's label packed with fillers, synthetics, or harsh chemicals. Instead, every essential oil contains natural biochemicals called components, and that gives them their unique benefits. These not only influence the aroma of your favorite oils, but also the way that they make you feel when you use them. It's meant to relax, to energize, invigorate. Essential oils have properties that are unique to the plant that they were extracted from. These concentrated natural essences can support your healthy lifestyle in a variety of ways, including mind, body, and the home. So, the same way it helps us as adults, it helps children as well. So, now getting into the evening routine, here he was knocked out. Before, it would be like, oh my God, I don't want to go to bed, and I'm not going to bed, and all that. All of that made absolutely no sense. But the evening routine, after he's out of school, he goes directly to an after school care. He typically has a snack there, but by the time he gets home, he wants another snack. Then whatever homework he didn't complete there, he completes homework, he has his bath, he has dinner. And the goal is him getting into bed between 7:30 and 8. Y'all, my baby was not getting enough sleep prior to this. That was one of the reasons he was extremely cranky. He was probably getting 7 or 8 hours. Now it's 10 hours. We're not doing less than 10 hours. I didn't realize how much that would make a big difference, but it was a complete game changer. It is 10 hours, it is not less. If there's any sign of him not getting at least 10 hours, I start to get nervous and and agitated. So if that is something that you're not incorporated, please, please, please consider making that shift. So also the room is typically semi-dark. The essential oils are going in the diffuser, and he sleeps to rain music. Once it's time for bed, he's literally asking for the rain music. That is one of the things one of the part of the routine that keeps him very, very calm. So I'm super excited that he does that because that works the same way for me as well. I'm a rain music kind of person. So now let's get into this phenomenal club where you can get these things that are going to change your life. And it is melaleuca.com. Melaleuca is both the manufacturer and the store. There's over 500 wellness products. They're manufactured right here in North America. It is only $19 to be a member in this club, and you can cancel at any time. Right now, you can get that membership for $1. If you compare that to like a Costco, Sam's, or a BJ's, where a person pays a membership to shop for products, very similar, except ours, you're not going to pay any more than $19. And all of the products that you get inside of the club are Melaleuca products. There will not be anything else. The company does an impressive 2 billion plus sales every year. They have a 96% monthly reorder rate because people love the products and they are shopping every single month. They also have an A plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. We're the wellness company and the largest shopping club in North America. We believe that we are a different kind of company. The products are formulated, they're manufactured, and they're packaged right here. We don't have to worry about any tariffs being an issue because everything is USA made. We've got 1% that's in Canada, and the mascara is coming out of Italy. Everything else, you're going to find that they're made right here in the US. The product philosophy is that we believe nature holds the answers and science unlocks the secrets. They're natural, safer, more effective ingredients. We invest in quality and we test against the competition. Who are the competitors, right? It's your big dogs, Johnson and Johnson, Clorox, Amazon, Unilever, Procter and Gamble, Walmart, Target. We test ours against theirs. Ours are proven to be safer, they are more effective, and in many cases, they are much more affordable. Make a note, and I would like for you to Google 20-year lung study. This is a real study that was done. It was not done by Melaleuca, but it was an independent study that found that the national brand cleaners that we have been using for so many years have been causing damage to our lungs. And if you clean your home just once a week, it's equivalent to you smoking a pack of cigarettes every single day. So I am referring to your Fabuloso, your Comet, your Bleach, Lysol, these heavy duty cleaners that most people are using. They are damaging your lungs. And like I said, this is a real study done by a couple of different publications. If you Google it, you are absolutely going to find it. So remember at the very beginning when I was talking to you about gut health, right? And ways that there can be improvements in the behaviors. And we talked about also the environment. The environment is extremely crucial, and especially for our children. So we don't have any control of the things that our children are exposed to when we leave home, but we have complete control of the products and things that we expose to them inside of our homes. So for the person who invited you, ask them to send you the lung study video. This one right here will be eye-opening, and it is definitely something that you want to take a look at. There's one that's 1 minute, and then there's another one that's a little bit more extensive, and it's about 8 minutes. But ask them to send you the lung study video. If I have anyone that's on, you can drop the video below so that people can kind of grab it as well if you have it. So there has been a quick environmental exposure, and it has been shown that 8,000 US adults found that the top 10% of parents with increased chemical intolerances had close to 6 times the risk of bearing a child diagnosed with autism and about 2 times the risk for the ADHD component compared to the 10% with least exposure to toxins. Those findings built on a previous 2015 study by the UT Health San Antonio, which was the first ever to link chemical intolerance to autism and ADHD. There's scientific research that suggests exposure to toxic chemicals, everyday toxins that's found in food, carpeting and flooring, cleaning and lawn products, personal care products like toothpaste. Also, I mean, you can even think about deodorant. These are things that you're using and putting on your body every single day. They may contribute substantially to disorders such as ADHD, autism, and learning disabilities. Infants and children are especially vulnerable to toxic chemical exposure because their biological systems are still developing. During fetal development, exposure to even a minuscule amount of toxins at critical junctures can have a lifelong impact on the child's brain and physical health. When toxins disrupt brain development, disorders like ADHD can occur. Also, search this as well. This was actually banned and removed from New York State. This is real. I am not making this up. The things that I'm showing you, they can absolutely be proven, but you may already even have these things in your home. I know that these are popular brands, but they were moved because they were high in carcinogen. So the products here, I especially love to talk about the cleaning products. They're safer and they're more effective. There are no toxic chemicals. There's no chlorine bleach, no ammonia, no phosphates, no quaternary disinfectants, no phthalates, no parabens, no formaldehyde or abrasives. Everything is plant derived and have biodegradable ingredients. The company has never paid out an insurance claim for any of the products harming anyone. They are of superior performance, and there are no safety caps required. You know, when we were growing up, and still today, these toxic products, there is a safety cap trying to prevent any child to be able to open it. Melaleuca does not have any safety caps. So let's talk about more on the cleaning and laundry aisle. You're literally going to find something that will clean every room in your home. All like your disinfectants, your all-purpose cleaner, dish care, the complete laundry system, every single room in your home, you will find something in the club that will clean it. Have to make that known so that people won't think that they are limited. You will literally be able to clean everything. This is one of my favorites, and this product was something that I took to my son's school and make sure that they keep this on hand. It is the first EPA registered plant-based disinfectant. This replaced the Lysol and the Clorox wipes. I'm like, yeah, he won't be using that. And I emailed and I said, why? And I took these items there. So not only does it come in the spray, but it also comes in wipes. They were completely surprised. I said, yeah, the Clorox and the Lysol is actually toxic. And so I'm needing to make sure that we're putting a little bit more focus on the environment. Really, none of the kids should have it, but anytime he's in a particular room, this is what he'll need to use so you can have him clean it. They were completely surprised, never even heard of it, did not know, right? Did not know that Clorox or Lysol was toxic. But this kills 99% of disease-causing bacteria and viruses. It is safe to use on food surfaces. If you read the labels on Clorox or Lysol, you cannot use them near food services. This also kills COVID-19 and its emergent variants. The personal care aisle. Every single thing that Dylan uses to get dressed every single day is found in the club. All the dental care, body wash, lotion, deodorant, sunscreen, hand sanitizer, every single thing that he uses is coming directly from the club. So, because it is all natural, people assume that it is expensive, and it is not. So, you're going to take the same dollars that you currently spend. I don't know if you're going to Trader Joe's, CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, Target, whatever money you're spending, you're going to put it into the club. You'll find they're going to be more effective. They have higher quality. They are of better value. They are safer for your body, safer for the home, and better for the environment. So, things that we do here and things that we do not do, we just simply refer customers to shop. So, if you have been invited here, someone is inviting you to become a member so that you can get your hands on better quality, safe products for your family and for your home. We don't have to carry any inventory or make any deliveries. We're not distributors. We don't take care of billing. You will become a member. You can open up your shopping account for $1. You're going to shop for the products that you want to start out with. And each month, you will slowly convert your home to better quality, safe products. And that's it. 81, if you wonder, 81% of the customers shop here, right? There's 19% that is involved in the revenue sharing, but 81% of the customers shop, and they shop because they are able to get their hands on better quality, safe, environmental friendly products delivered directly to their home every single month. So they're not having to go into the store. They're not taking the time to do that. So they're saving time, they're saving money, and they are putting their families in a better position to be able to control what it is that they are putting on their body and in their body. 19% are a part of that revenue sharing, like I mentioned. I know there's quite a few that is in the chat. Put a 3 if you are already a part of the club and you are a part of that revenue sharing. I don't know if we have some parents on the line that are looking for some additional income. I was speaking to someone today. Her daughter is like 1 year old, and I asked, are you back in the workforce? She was like, yeah, but I don't want to be, right? I know that there are so many parents that are looking for something that can help bridge the gap, that you may even want more time, because I can tell you that if I did not have the ability to control and have that time freedom with my son going through the challenges that we have faced over the last couple of years, it would be a mess. It would really be a mess. So just know that there is a way for you to spend more time with your children, if you're wanting to make the shift to do that and earn some additional income. I know this month, when you refer 8 people, it's a guaranteed $1,000. So that is available. Make sure you ask the person who invited you, how do I become a part of the club to be a part of the revenue sharing when I refer members to shop? So I hope you have a good 6 minutes here. There is a video that I definitely love to make sure that I share. So give me one moment here. And I just realized, give me 1 second. It's not going to, hold on 1 second. Give me 1 minute. Something I forgot to do on this to make sure you can hear the sound.
Have you ever wondered why some of the healthiest people still get sick? Or why the occurrence of learning disabilities like ADHD have drastically increased over the last 50 years? How is it that the cancer rate has gone from 1 in 8,000 back in the 1910s to 1 in 2 today? Isn't it odd that even though we are more focused on health than ever before, that there's still been an increase in diseases disorders, illnesses, and other conditions that destroy your quality of life? What if we told you that the very things you're using in your home to avoid these health concerns are actually what's causing them? If you're the decision maker in your home, you know how overwhelming it can be to keep your family safe. Today, we'd like to welcome you and simply provide you with some important information and shed some light on some health concerns you may not be aware of. Over the last 100 years, thousands of toxic chemicals have been introduced into society because of an excessive overstock of chemicals designed for warfare in the Second World War. Today, as the 2013 documentary The Human Experiment states, quote, 42 billion pounds of toxic chemicals enter into commerce every day. That amount would fill up 623,000 tanker trucks. And as we speak, there are over 80,000 such chemicals on the market in the U.S. Over the last half century, chemical usage has gone up by 2,000%. And it isn't until there are enough people hurt by these products that there are even questions raised. Does this sound familiar? On July 12, 2018, the well-known grocery store brand of talcum and baby powder company, Johnson & Johnson, was ordered to pay a $4.6 billion lawsuit. As it was said, they knowingly covered up asbestos in their product for over 40 years, and we have been trustingly using it on ourselves and our most precious of all things, our newborn babies. As parents, we work hard to keep our families safe and healthy. We diligently try to choose the best brands at the grocery store for our families. After all, keeping a clean home is an important part of good health. But is it possible that cleaning your home is dangerous? 7.3 million American couples have trouble conceiving or carrying a pregnancy to term. This is a 49% increase since 1988. Recent studies have shown that babies that do make it to term are being born pre-polluted, with up to 28 harmful chemicals in their blood, with indicators that over 400 more were present, all without ever eating food, drinking water, or even breathing air yet. It just doesn't make any sense. Studies showed that in 1999, 1 in 500 kids had autism. Today, it's 1 in 59. But the effects don't stop there. As of 2013, the increases over the last 45 years show that life-threatening birth defects has increased 100%. Genital deformities in baby boys has increased 100%.
As I'm trying to slide the door,
leukemia has increased 74%.
I'm stuck inside the restroom, knocking on the walls, trying to get someone next door, someone in the hallway, to at least hear the knocks. So, no one heard the knocks. And so here,
6,235 women and men. They tracked the typical use of home cleaners and how they affect
everything in me.
those who use them over a long period of time. Over the course of the study, the participants answered questions about cleaning products and had their lung capacity tested regularly. In May,
30,
the study in the American Journal
that's why I know I can't go.
Which generated global media attention. Because
that
the
is what
findings
happened
from the
to
study
me
clearly
today.
showed
Now I'm
that
off to church.
done to lungs. And that by using national brand cleaners, even only once a week, had the same effect as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day for 20 years. Even if we're only using these products once a week, we are exposing ourselves, our children, and our pets to something that's more dangerous than secondhand smoke. Ask yourself, would you knowingly hand your child a pack of cigarettes every day? But what options do we have? What if I told you that there was a company that's been making products for over 30 years that are so safe that the FDA doesn't even require them to use childproof caps? And what if I told you they have scientific data that proves that their products are so effective at killing serious germs like Streptococcus and E. coli, better than the most powerful national brands without the harmful side effects? And that the reason you don't know about this yet is because they don't advertise like national brands, so they can even save you money. Because the facts clearly show that what you don't know can hurt you. Get back with the person that sent you here today and ask them how you can get started. They want to show you how you can take better care of your families by simply making purchasing decisions that will offer you better, safer, more effective options that can even save you money simply by switching stores. We hope that if nothing else, we've started you on a path to educating you on things that you may not have previously been aware of. We'd like to thank you for your time, and here's to your health.
Thank you so very much. I am going to stop this share. All right. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. Please get back to the person who invited you. Let us know if you have any questions. You guys have an incredible night.